A mother is murdered in front of her quadruplets. The killer flees Mexico. The FBI gets involved. And the man behind it all? Her ex-husband, a multimillionaire who thought he could get away with the perfect crime. November 7, 1997. 13-year-old Stevie Bellish walked through the front door of her Sarasota, Florida home, eager to share news about a boy who had promised to call. Instead of her mother's warm greeting, she found chaos. Her 4 younger siblings, 23-month-old quadruplets, stood crying in the hallway, their small bodies covered in blood. Panic surged through Stevie as she raced through the house screaming for her mother. The kitchen revealed the unthinkable. Sheila Bellish lay sprawled on the floor in a massive pool of drying blood. Stevie's shock was so profound that she did not immediately register that her mother's body was at her feet. The 911 operator dispatched paramedics and sheriff's deputies immediately. Crime scene investigator Lisa Lamb arrived to witness a scene she would never forget. Bloody footprints circled Sheila's body, evidence that the toddlers had wandered through their mother's blood while she lay dying. The attack had begun in the utility room, where investigators found a knife and a bullet hole in the wall. A .45 caliber round had been fired directly at Sheila's face, passing through her cheekbone and neck before embedding in a bedroom wall. Forensic teams discovered a fingerprint on the dryer, though its connection to the crime remained uncertain. Detective Chris Iorio analyzed the blood spatter pattern and reached a chilling conclusion. Despite being shot in the face, Sheila Bellish had gotten up to fight back. Defensive wounds covered her hands and arms, proof that she had battled her attacker with every ounce of strength. As a parent himself, Iorio believed Sheila's motherly instinct had given her power beyond normal human capability. She dragged her broken body 15 feet across the kitchen floor, reaching desperately for the telephone. She managed to lift the receiver before collapsing, bleeding to death just inches from salvation. The toddlers witnessed everything. Investigators found no sign of forced entry, suggesting Sheila knew her killer. Statistics showed that 2 out of 3 violent crimes against women are committed by someone they know. The investigation turned inward. First, they questioned Jamie Bellish, Sheila's second husband. He had life insurance policies on her and a strict, controlling demeanor. But Jamie had a solid alibi with receipts and witnesses from his pharmaceutical sales route. They questioned a suspicious pool maintenance man who was quickly ruled out. Finally, they turned to Sheila's first husband, Alan Blackthorne, a wealthy San Antonio businessman worth $40 million. Alan Blackthorne was in San Antonio on the day of the murder, eliminating him as the trigger man. The investigation stalled until a gardener named Jake Mast came forward with critical information. Mast had seen a suspicious Mitsubishi Eclipse parked near the Bellish home on the day of the murder. The driver wore camouflage pants and seemed completely out of place. Mast memorized the license plate number, creating a mnemonic device to remember it. The plate traced to a 23-year-old small-time criminal named Joey Del Toro from San Antonio, Texas. There appeared to be no connection between Del Toro and Sheila Bellish. Texas authorities located Del Toro's car outside a friend's apartment complex. Inside, investigators discovered a treasure trove of evidence. They found camouflage pants, a detailed map to Sheila's house, and a .45 caliber pistol. Ballistics proved the gun matched the bullet from the crime scene. Tiny blood spatters on the pants contained Sheila's DNA. A fingerprint on the trigger matched Del Toro's criminal record, and another print on the dryer matched as well. The evidence was overwhelming. Joey Del Toro had traveled from Texas to Florida for the sole purpose of murdering a woman he had never met. Before investigators could question him, Del Toro fled to Mexico. The FBI became involved, applying pressure on Mexican authorities to extradite him. Upon his return, Del Toro confessed to the murder and revealed the existence of a conspiracy. He had been recruited by his cousin, Sammy Gonzalez, who had been approached by a bookie named Danny Roachcha. Roachcha showed Gonzalez a picture of Sheila and claimed she needed to be punished. The plan escalated from a beating to a murder, with Roachcha promising $10,000 for the job. But Del Toro revealed someone else was involved, someone he feared. That someone was the mastermind behind the entire plot. Investigators discovered that Danny Roach-Cha had agreed to participate in the conspiracy because he was seeking funding for a sports bar. The funding was to come from Alan Blackthorne, Sheila's ex-husband. Blackthorne had a hidden history of controlling behavior and allegations of abuse. He had been married twice before, both marriages ending with accusations of violence. Friends and family described a man who wore a charming mask in public but had a dark, controlling private life. He was banned from his country club for unacceptable behavior, yet maintained a facade of respectability. The FBI built a case against Alan Blackthorne, not for pulling the trigger, but for orchestrating the murder of his ex-wife. The prosecution argued that Blackthorne could not tolerate losing control over Sheila. He wanted to destroy her emotionally and physically. The evidence showed a pattern of harassment and a brutal custody battle. Blackthorne's wealth and influence had allowed him to operate above the law for years, but the FBI's investigation crossed state lines and international borders. They connected the dots from the mastermind to the broker to the hitman, building an unshakable case of conspiracy. Joey Del Toro was convicted of murder and sentenced to life in prison. Danny Roach-Cha received a similar sentence for his role in the conspiracy. Alan Blackthorne, the wealthy businessman who ordered the killing, was convicted of conspiracy to commit murder and solicitation of murder. He was also sentenced to life in prison. Sheila's 4 toddlers grew up without their mother, but they were too young to retain memories of the violence they witnessed. The case ended with justice served, but the tragedy of a mother's brutal death in front of her children remained a haunting reminder of the destructive power of obsession.